Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Joy Pixels podcast for Friday, February 7th, 2020. I am your host, Hal451 today. Doing a little solo podcast today. I think maybe we'll even leave the music going. Why not? We'll keep it kind of low. Yeah, Squash has the day off, so there's not a whole lot to talk about this week, so it'll probably be pretty short. But I still want to keep these consistent and give you guys one every week. So, without further ado, we're going to just jump in and start with a little bit about what I've been playing. I finished Resident Evil 0 this week, and that was a trip. Yeah, had a lot of trouble with that game towards the end. Really started out strong with that game. I really enjoyed that game. And I still really enjoy the game. My biggest problem were the bosses in the game. I just did not like the bosses. I didn't feel like they were very well designed. I don't feel like I've ever really liked any bosses in any of the Resident Evil games. Even the 3D games, or, well, when I say 3D, I mean like RE2 Remake and RE7. I don't know, they're just, like, they're kind of just in the way, in my opinion. They're not super enjoyable. With all that being said, though, I still really enjoyed Resident Evil 0, and I'm glad that I played it. It actually has some really interesting lore that leads up to Resident Evil 1 and the later Resident Evils, of course. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I played that and that I was able to finish that. Hi, ODM, how are you? We're just talking about Resident Evil 0 right now. Don't really have a whole lot else to say about RE0, other than I'm glad I played it. I don't think I will probably play it again. I don't know, I didn't feel the same urge to like immediately replay it like I did with RE1. I could see going back through it again at some point, maybe on a lower difficulty or something like that. ODM, you've been super busy lately, haven't had time to see the streams. No worries, ODM. I hope you don't stay too busy for too long. I hope you get some time to relax this weekend. Thank you so much for stopping by, though. It's always nice to have you. Moving on. In anticipation for Doom Eternal, I replayed Doom 2016. I hate that we have to say Doom 2016, God of War 2018. But it is what it is. Yeah, so I replayed Doom 2016. I played it on, I think it was like Ultra Violence. It was the hardest difficulty that did not have permadeath, because that's insane. But honestly, I thought it was a really good difficulty to play on. It was difficult, obviously, but it wasn't like too frustratingly difficult. There were a few times when it was getting pretty frustrating, but not too crazy. So yeah, I love this game, and I just cannot speak enough about this game. Hi, Reality. Yeah, Squash is out again today. He's feeling a little under the weather. So, you know, I told him no problem, take today off. Yeah, we're just chatting about what I've been playing. Played Resident Evil 0, played Doom. To talk a little bit more about Doom, though. The level design in Doom 2016, keep having to say that, is just unbelievably good. And it's so, not just the level design, but the pacing in that game is so well done, in my opinion at least, because there are a lot of secrets and puzzles in that game. And typically I don't really like that in a game like that. I've never been one to like try and find all the collectibles or find all the secrets and everything like that. But Doom 2016 does such a good job at encouraging you to find the secrets and find every little area on the map because you actually get things for it. You get, I think they're called Praetor tokens or something like that to upgrade your weapons. And then on top of that, this has one of the best 3D maps I've ever seen in a video game. Like every other game needs to look at this game's map, I think, and try and incorporate something similar to this. It just does such a good job at showing you where you have explored, where you have not explored, and they even, like when you start out in a level, you know, you can pull up your map and it just shows you a little bit of what you've explored so far. But then you can actually find a map in the level that downloads the entire map for you, but it still only highlights like the areas that you visited, and then it actually shows you the secrets on the map. And some people might say, well, that's kind of boring because then you know where the secrets are, but that's where the level design comes in. It is so well designed that you may see where a secret is, but it's never clear, at least for the most part, it's never clear right up front, like where you're supposed to go to get to the secret. So you often have to, figure out how to like work around the map to find the secrets. And yeah, I know it's weird that I'm talking about like puzzles and maps in a Doom game when the real thing that we should be talking about is the guns and the gameplay, because that is unbelievably good as well. Everyone talks about Destiny as being such a good gunplay, and to me, I don't know if there's a better game. Maybe Fear, the original Fear game. I don't know if there's a better game that just handles shooting, and every one of those weapons just feels so good to shoot. They all feel unique. Like it's just on a whole nother level comparing Doom to something like Destiny. And again, I've never really got the appeal of Destiny's gunplay. But I know that that's just me because everyone praises it and says that it's fantastic. So, I don't know. Never got it. But yeah, Doom is unbelievably good, and I can't wait for Doom Eternal, which comes out in March. I think it's March 20th, same day as Animal Crossing. So yeah, that's a interesting dichotomy. Moving on, I've been playing a little bit of Journey to the Savage Planet. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I'm still fairly early in, but I'm enjoying it for the most part. This is not a full-price game. I think it's only $30, and I think I got it actually for $20 because on the Epic Game Store, it is an Epic exclusive. They gave me like a $10 coupon for the Christmas sale or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know how I got it for $20, but you know, reviewing it or thinking about it for that price, I think it's easily worth it. If you like these kinds of games, it's kind of an exploration adventure game with kind of like, dare I say, Metroidvania type things in it. Hi, French Toast. I will show you or I'll send you the link. This is just I don't know, something I found on YouTube. It's got some good music in it, though. But yeah, Journey to the Savage Planet is there's also some really good comedy in it. It's pretty good writing. But if you don't know what this game is, it's kind of an exploration game where you work for the fourth best space exploration company. Oh, is it a little too loud? I'm sorry. I'll turn it down. Thank you for letting me know, though. Let me know how that is. I know it's not playing anything right now. Yeah, Journey to the Savage Planet. You play as an adventurer working for the fourth best space exploration company, and they send out people to uncolonized worlds to just look and see if they're, able to be colonized, I guess. So you're sent to this planet, which is supposed to not have like any kind of life on it or anything, but there actually is life. There's kind of some mysterious stuff going on, which is kind of interesting. But you're sent there, and you don't really have many abilities. That's kind of where the Metroidvania aspect comes into it. So there's a lot of platforming involved and abilities that you have to get to be able to continue exploring the planet. Reality says it's made with love in Montreal too. That's cool. I didn't know it was a Canadian game right there in Montreal. That's really cool. I guess my only complaints would be it's for a game that feels like it should be open world. It's actually very linear. Like you can go kind of anywhere you want to go, but there's like very obvious routes that you're supposed to go, and then find an upgrade material, bring it back, craft something, and then you can kind of explore further. Again, I'm still very early into that game, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it. But for $20 or $30, if you like those kind of games, I think it's pretty good. Some people have kind of been comparing it to like No Man's Sky, if No Man's Sky was on one planet and it was more of like a handcrafted world. So I can kind of see that. Other than that, I haven't been playing... Well, actually, I have started playing a little bit of Outer Wilds, which I started that yesterday. And, man, that is an unbelievably good game. So I had heard so much about this game. Everybody's kind of been talking about this game. It kind of snuck under the radar last year, I feel like. Although a lot of people were bringing it up on their Game of the Year talks, which I think is pretty cool. But it definitely snuck under the radar for me. I bought it when it first came out because I thought it looks like a cool little game. And this is a game that's very difficult to talk about because you don't want to spoil anything. And I imagine most people that are going to be watching this or listening to this already have heard of this game or probably have seen it. Maybe they're sick of hearing about it. I don't know. Probably are sick of hearing about it at this point. But I played a tiny bit of it when it first came out and wanted to get back into it, but just had some other games that were coming out. And finally jumped back into it because I just wanted to fully kind of immerse myself in it. And man, that is a good game. It's really just fascinating from a game design point of view, how the game is designed. And I'm really there's a no clip documentary about it that I really want to watch after I finish it. Reality says Outer Worlds plus Outer Wilds was very confusing moments, with Wilds taking over as the main marketing leader. Wilds or Worlds? I feel like Worlds, Outer Worlds was kind of Outer Wilds was kind of overshadowed by Outer Worlds. It's very confusing. Outer Wilds came out first, which is the indie game, the space exploration. Well, see, that's the other thing. They're both space exploration games. It's very, very confusing. But yeah, Outer Worlds is the game that's made by oh my goodness, I'm completely blanking on their names. The people that made the original Fallout games, Obsidian. And Outer Wilds, I apologize, I don't know. Is it Mobius? It might be Mobius Games. I think that's their name. They are the developer of the Outer... Oh, it's not it's Outer Wilds. This is extremely confusing. Probably people are pulling their hair out trying to listen to this. Anyway, Outer Wilds, it's a really, really interesting game. And I'm only about 5 or 6 hours into it. But I am just dying to play more, and I think I'm going to play more right after this podcast, actually, to just figure out what's going on in that world. Moving on from that, I have also been playing a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2. I finally kind of started back into that. I played a good chunk of that on the PS4, but just kind of fell off of it again. I feel like I fell off of so many games in the past year or so. But I knew that that game was coming out on PC, so I wanted to wait for that anyway. And then it came out, and it was kind of a mess. They needed some patches and that kind of stuff. But I think it's pretty much fully patched up now and is running really well, or as well as it can for a game that looks so good. That game really looks incredible. Even on the consoles, it does. So yeah, I'm back into playing that. That's kind of my goal for February, is to play through that game. Very long game, though. But yeah, I really just started that. I really just kind of got past the prologue and into the first part of that game. So I will probably be talking about that game a lot more in the future. And that is really about all I've been playing, which is actually quite a bit. So we talked about Resident Evil 0, Doom 2016, Journey to the Savage Planets, Outer Wilds, not the Outer Worlds, and Red Dead Redemption 2. As far as our new games coming out this week, there is not a whole lot. Really, the only thing that's notable, Yakuza Remastered Collection is coming out on February 11th, and Metro Exodus is getting a DLC called Sam's Story. Still haven't played that game, so don't know what that's about. I do need to play Metro Exodus, though. I know a lot of people have said it's really, really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Dreams is coming out next Friday, the 14th. I don't know how many people are interested in that. I don't know if I'm going to be really interested in that. I did buy the early access for that, because my thinking has always been, even if I get one decent game out of that, then it'll be worth it. But so far, the only thing I'm seeing is just like, people remaking Metal Gear Solid 1, the first level of it or something like that. Hey, who knows? Maybe they'll remake Silent Hill 2 in that reality, and then I can play through it in that. But yeah, this is just such a dry spell for video games right now. Not really a whole lot coming out until March. So other than that, really the only other thing that we have to talk about is a little bit about the news. There's not a whole lot of news, but there are a few things that I wanted to mention. There's some really big news from Rockstar and 2K. Dan Houser, one of the Houser brothers of the, I believe they're the founders of Rockstar Games. He announced that he will be leaving the company. That's a pretty big surprise. My understanding, I don't know a whole lot about this, so apologies if I get anything wrong. But my understanding is he was kind of the lead of most of the writing for the GTA and the Red Dead Redemption games. And really, really involved in a lot of the writing and a lot of those characters that were created. So that's a pretty big story, I feel like. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that. I think Rockstar in general is just interesting to see what comes out of them next, because I think I saw that GTA 5 had sold... No, this can't be right. I wanted to say 120 million units, but that would just be insane. Let me see if I can look this up really quick. Okay, sorry, $120 million. Wait, that doesn't sound right either. No, wait, it does say 120 million units. That's just mind-boggling. I mean, not every one of those is $60 a piece, but let's say they average $30 a piece for those. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I forgot I have my keys hotkeyed to that. Wait, 120 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lot of zeros. That's $3.6 billion. Hey, yeah, that is easy math. I didn't really even need a calculator for that. And that's from one video game. I mean, yeah, their budget, or their budget was something like $500 million, but still, that's insane that they make that much money. So anyway, I just say that to say that GTA, like, they don't need to make any more video games. They could just keep putting out stuff for GTA 5 online. Not counting the DLC. There was no DLC for GTA 5, unfortunately. I mean, unless you're talking about like the online stuff, but I don't know if I would really count that as DLC. Hi, Koala. What in the world? This must be a bot or something. Oh well, whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, GTA 5. Yeah, they could just keep making GTA Online. So yeah, we were talking about Dan Houser leaving Rockstar. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Rockstar. I don't really see them going too far, as far as creating these really good story-driven games that we used to love. I don't know. I know that they're going to come out with GTA 6, but what if GTA 6 is online only? I could definitely see them doing that and just forgetting about the single player. The single player aspect costs them a lot of money and is a lot of work. And online is definitely, sadly, where they're making most of their money. That was kind of the big news story, I feel like. Just a few of the things that I will throw out. Final Fantasy 15 is coming to Game Pass. I think it may already be on Game Pass. But that's pretty cool. That's a really good game. I really think that is a game that's worth playing if you're a Final Fantasy fan. And maybe we're waiting on it, or I don't know, you've probably already played it if you're a Final Fantasy fan. Maybe if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, you should check it out, because it's kind of made for newcomers. That was my first Final Fantasy, and I really liked it. Platinum Games put a website out. It's called for.platinumgames.com, and they are going to be releasing info on 4 games that they're working on. I'm not really sure what it is, but they did mention their first game, which is a remaster of a game that I had never heard of. This was a Wii or Wii U game, The Wonderful 101. The main reason that I want to talk about this, though, is it's kind of weird. They put out this Kickstarter. They got permission from Nintendo to do this. I guess they probably went to Nintendo first and said, like, hey, we'd love to remaster this game. Nintendo was like, nah, we're not really into it. We don't think it's going to sell that well. We don't think we can really get that much money from it. Well, they put up a Kickstarter for $50,000. That was 4 or 5 days ago. They currently have raised $1.45 million. They only had a goal of $50,000. So yeah, I guess there's a little bit more interest than Nintendo thought. That's just insane to me. Apparently they had already been working on this, and it seems like it's pretty much ready to go. I think it's coming out in April. It was, originally just going to be on the Nintendo Switch, but they had stretch goals for PC and PS4. So it will be coming to those other consoles as well. I don't know if it's going to be coming to Xbox. Poor Xbox. They just don't really ever get anything, it seems like. But, yeah, that's crazy that they just blew past their goal. I think they hit their goal in, like, an hour or something. And then everyone is, of course, speculating on what these other 3 games that they're going to be talking about. We know that they're working on... Platinum Games is just so weird to me. They were working on so much stuff, it seems like. They are working on Bayonetta 3, of course. They have that game that they're working on with Square Enix, Babylon's Fall, I believe. And it seems like they just want to do more stuff. I wish they would just work on Bayonetta 3, though. Koala, which game was that? Wait, which game was what? The Kickstarter I was talking about? That was The Wonderful 101. I don't know anything about this game. I just kind of wanted to mention it. Yeah, it's called The Wonderful 101. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of it. Apparently there's a lot of interest in it, though. Just for how much money it made in such a short amount of time. What else do we have? I thought this was interesting, at least worth mentioning. NVIDIA's GeForce Now is leaving beta. This is the game streaming service from NVIDIA. And it is $5 a month. I don't really know the whole details with this, but it's obviously, going up against Google Stadia, which there's not really a whole lot of competition with that. But I think that this is definitely something to just, look at and think about. And this is definitely something that we're going to be hearing more and more about with Microsoft's xCloud that will be coming up. We've got Google Stadia, PlayStation Now. So all of these companies are trying to get into this cloud gaming market. I feel like it's very questionable how well it's going to work. But they were in beta for quite a while, and it seems like people had pretty good results with that. Other than that, let's see if I have any other stories I can throw out. Not a whole lot to talk about this week. We had one question from Vermont. Let me pull this up. I really like this question, actually. Vermont asks, I want to know about your favorite villains in video games. Maybe even your favorite boss fights from gameplay point of view. Boss fights. Let's start with boss fights. For me, it's going to be like all Souls. Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Sekiro, all of those games. I mean, those, even the worst boss fight outweighs like any other boss fight in a game for me. I don't know, I'm just addicted to the Souls formula of boss fights. I think that they're really well done. Koala says, after reading the article I posted in your Discord, I wonder whether cloud console discussion is similar to the paper ebook discussion. I think in some ways you could compare it to that, but it's quite a bit different because, so much of, like, if cloud gaming really did just work and there was no latency, there was no problems with that, I think everybody would be using it. But the problem and the big difference between like paper books and ebooks, you don't have to worry about latency with an ebook. Whereas with gaming, specifically like really fast-paced first-person shooters, and a lot of gamers in general just freak out if they have the tiniest bit of latency. I'm not like this. I can barely even tell the difference between 30 and 60 FPS a lot of times. There was a video of Atomic Hearts, which is a new game that's coming out, that they posted a new gameplay trailer for it. and like everybody in the comments was saying, "Oh, why is the frame rate so bad?" And I literally had no idea that the frame rate was bad. I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty good." But everybody was talking about like the frame rate's so bad. I guess I just can't see it. And I definitely don't mind playing games at lower frame rates. I mean, look, I was happy to get 24 frames a second when I was playing Oblivion on my 2007 computer. But again, I'm definitely not everybody, and there are definitely people that want the best quality and lowest latency that they can get. And I think I'm probably a little bit in the minority for that, at least for like hardcore gamers. Which I would consider myself, a pretty hardcore gamer. Like I play all the games, I love all the games. I just don't care that much about the technical aspects of it. But again, to say all of this, to say that I think that that latency is definitely a problem. And also, like French Toast is saying, for competitive gaming, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no way. I guess maybe, like, if everybody was on the same connection and they were all doing cloud streaming, but that's just such a like I don't think that would ever happen. Like, even if you had everybody on the same cloud connection, it would still vary a little bit in the latency. But I feel like that's a discussion like way over my head because I don't know enough about the technical aspects of that to really comment on it. But I think we are going to see, obviously, a lot more about cloud gaming this year and hear a lot more about it. So yeah, going back to Vermalt's question, I'll read it again if I can find it. She said, I want to know about your favorite villains in games, maybe even your favorite boss fights from a gameplay point of view. Like I was saying, boss fights, I would probably have to go with something from Bloodborne or Dark Souls. I think the Lady Maria boss fight in Bloodborne, I think it's the DLC. Probably one of my favorite boss fights. The boss fight in Dark Souls 1, man, I'm completely blanking on their names. Ornstein and Smough. That is maybe one of my favorite boss fights of all time, particularly because I struggled so long with that, and that was my first Souls game. I kind of got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I can actually beat this game. But getting past it and then learning that fight, and now I can just go in and just like beat them almost every time. And it just is such a good feeling to learn a boss fight in a Souls game. Bayonetta definitely had some really, really good boss fights. The boss fight with Jean, there's a few different ones, but the one in particular that I'm thinking about, I guess, is about halfway through the game. That's another point in a game where I got to and I was like, I don't know if I can beat this. But it's another fight where I learned the fight, and that's what I love about a video game boss. Whereas, like, I might make some people mad, but I did not think Zelda Breath of the Wild had very good boss fights. The bosses, like, there was a gimmick to every single boss fight, and once you learn the gimmick, it's like, oh, this is nothing to this boss. And I mean, I guess you could kind of argue that Dark Souls kind of has gimmicks as well, but I don't think so. I feel like it's much more about you learn the rhythm of the fight and the attacks that the boss does and the patterns to the boss, and you just improve your abilities, not so much as just learn like the gimmick. Yeah, I'm curious if anybody in chat or anybody else has any like best boss fights in a video game that you can think of. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like mechanically best. It could just be like your favorite boss in a game too, I think. The other part of this question is really interesting though, and I was thinking about this a lot. Some of your favorite villains in video games. And I think it's a really interesting question because there's not a lot of really good villains in video games when I started to think about it. At least to me. There are definitely some that stand out. I think a lot of people would bring up Voss from Far Cry 3. I thought he was okay. I thought that was a little overrated. You could talk a lot about like Ganon in Zelda Breath of the Wild, or not just Breath of the Wild, but all the Zelda games. But I mean, that alone, I feel like doesn't make that villain really that good because like he's just always there. Although I will say, playing Ocarina of Time, I feel like you learn a lot more about Ganon than you do from... I don't know, maybe you learn more about him in other games, but I've only played Breath of the Wild, and like you really don't know anything about him other than like he's this terrible, evil person. I would say The Last of Us... there's not really like one specific villain, but I think you could kind of just say humanity itself is the villain in The Last of Us. And that is definitely well portrayed. But I think I would have to pick Letho from
Roxas,
The Witcher 2.
do you remember your true name?
I think he was just a really well-rounded villain. And someone that you start out thinking that you're going to hate, but then can actually have a really interesting redemption. And also Witcher 1. I mean, all the Witcher games, really, but I feel like Witcher 1 and 2 in particular, with the Professor and Azar Javed. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I think that's his name, though. But I still think I would probably choose Letho over any of those. Witcher 3, didn't really have... I mean, it has the Wild Hunt. I guess that is the villain. There's a bunch of other kind of smaller villains that you face and bosses and things like that. But for the most part, it's the Wild Hunt. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of any other villains in video games. The Mass Effect, I guess you had the Elusive Man. I think he was a really good villain. Yeah, I don't know. I think I still would come back to Letho with The Witcher 2. I think that would be my favorite villain. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us, guys. I know that this was a really short podcast, but not a whole lot to talk about this week. So with that being said, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and call it here and then come back. I'm going to take just a little break. I'll just keep this streaming. And I think I'm going to play something. I'm probably going to play some Outer Wilds. I almost said Outer Worlds. Yeah, I want to play a little bit more Outer Wilds. So thank you guys for joining me today, and that is going to do it. I'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, bye guys. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me for the podcast. I know it was really short, but I still wanted to do it. Let's jump in and play some Outer Wilds. Thank you, Koala. It was Mobius Games, I was right. Hey Sid, welcome in. Uh-oh, my controller's not working. What's going on? There we go. That was weird. Not much, just have a heck of a day at work. Last 2 weeks have been brutal, really. Well, it's the weekend now, Sid. You got any plans for the weekends? Let's see, I need a little bit more volume for me. Oh, that's better. Okay. An hour left, but yes, taking Corbin to a trampoline park on Sunday. Ooh, that'll be fun. I think what I want to do... We definitely found some really interesting stuff here. Still want to land on that sometime. I think I want to go to Giant Steep and just kind of like continue to just go down the line of planets here. Because we haven't actually been to Giant Steep yet. What is that? Dark brambles? There you are. Wait, what is this? No. Stick to the plan. Let's go to Giant Steep. What is that, though? We're really close. Let's look at what this is. I don't think it's the moon. Because the moon is back there. And it's interesting that this doesn't have a name coming up. Wait. Did it just disappear? Oh no, it's right here. Is it the moon for Brittle Hollow? Let's land on it really quick. Oh goodness, I lost it. Is it the quantum moon? The one that is, like, disappearing? Maybe that's what's going on. I think that might be what's happening. Hey, Minish. No, I haven't played ReCore. I kind of have been tempted to. It's on Game Pass, isn't it? Okay, we're wasting way too much time. Let's just go to Giant Steep. That was the original plan. I've heard really good things about that game, though. That's, oh, you're playing it, Minish? Yeah, I'm glad that you got those two services. Game Pass especially, man. There are so many good games on Game Pass. It's just such a good deal. Whoa, what is this stuff coming off of here? What is that? Whoa, we're coming in really hot here. Okay. I'm assuming this planet is kind of like Jupiter, and Jupiter doesn't really have a surface. So I don't know how, or really what's going to happen here. Whoa, what in the world am I seeing? Oh, it's a water planet. There's tornadoes. What in the world? Oh goodness. We're fine. This looks interesting. Wow, the gravity is really high here. Almost 2 times. Or I guess it is 2 times. 2 Gs. Look at these storms. That's kind of terrifying. There are a ton of games. You were shocked. Like, so many games on your Nintendo wishlist just sitting there to play. From watching you play Mass Effect, I feel like combat in ReCore is very similar. Really? That's interesting. Wait, ReCore. Oh, I'm thinking about a different game, Minish. What game am I thinking about? I can't remember. I'll have to look. What in the world? We're in the middle of a tornado. Oh. Is this like a shelter? What in the world is happening? Hey, that was my ship. Oh dear. Okay. They're going to test the memory statues tonight. Phlox says it could be dangerous, so he can't come. But if we didn't use the door and snuck in the other way, does anyone want to? I really want to see the test too. Lammy? Oh no, I really want to see the test too, Lammy. But that's a huge risk to take. We probably shouldn't. Maybe Phlox will let us use the see you later test. Phlox specifically told us not to do that. How do we get down there? Whoa. Oh, we can walk here. We got some gravity crystals. Statue workshop. Oh, it's broken though. Oh no. Can I swim? So Minish, you're enjoying ReCore? I can't remember the other game that... Sunset Overdrive, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, have you played Sunset Overdrive? I've heard good things about that too. What in the world is this? This game is just constant, like, what is this? What in the world am I doing? Where am I? You have not? Pretty sure that's on Game Pass too. That was a Xbox exclusive. What is that? Oh, that looks like a seed thing. Wait, how do I fire? Let's see if we can get back on our ship. Wait, how do I go down? I don't know. So we found Statue Island. Oops. This island must be where the Nomai created statues like the one in our observatory. Found a Nomai statue lying on the beach. It looks just like the one in our observatory. I found a sign for the statue workshop next to a broken door that can be used to lead inside the island. Some Nomai children debated bypassing the statue doors, the workshop's door, and sneaking inside via an alternate, more dangerous route. Sounds good, Minish. Thank you so much, man. That is a massive storm. Oh, this is kind of trippy. Wait a second. I need to get over there. Ooh, hello. This is from Cassava. This is it. We finally finished building the final orbital probe cannon module and are ready to send it into orbit around Giant's Deep for assembly. Our next stop will be to send Privet up to the orbital probe cannon to install the probe tracking system. To all my friends here at the construction yard, my gratitude for your tireless work. I had given up hope, but I truly believe this cannon may actually succeed where many other attempts have not. Are you going to be gelatinous on us, love? Wait, who's this? This is Daz. Are you going to be gelatinous on us, love? I'm delighted by your words, but they're atypical for you. If I'm ever half as gooey as Mallow and Avens behave together... What is Avens? Daz, you may launch me from the orbital probe cannon. If I know my brother, Avens... Oh, that's Avens. And his spouse will want to launch the probe with as much power as possible. I'm worried the cannon would break under the strain. I propose we give Avens and Mallow a slightly lower maximum power setting than the absolute maximum power, absolute maximum possible to create room for their enthusiasm. By the way, I think the rock names are identified as male and the plants as female. Oh, interesting. Oh, so this is what's in orbits. Hi, Marisol? Is that how you say that? Did you just have a tongue twister? Yeah. I have a hard time reading this stuff sometimes. What are these things for? Marisol, you've been here before, I think, haven't you? That name sounds familiar. I apologize if I don't remember it. Oh, good gracious. Hold on, I want to try and get over there. You were hosting me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Welcome in. How are you doing? You have me on your auto host list. Oh, well, thank you. Uh-oh, I can't get over there. I'm so sorry I forgot, Marisol. I feel like it's been a long time since we've talked. If it hasn't, then I apologize. This game's graphics looks amazing. Have you played this game before? I would highly recommend it. If you like... What is that? If you like, kind of space and science and adventure. Is there a tornado coming? Those things are terrifying. Oh my goodness, there is! Getting sucked up into a tornado. What just happened? Whoa! What is happening? I think we just died. You have an Xbox? Nice. I think we just got sucked up into the tornado and then blown out into space. Or pushed out into space, I'm not really sure. This game. Did you finish this game, Marisol? Oh, let's try and go to this thing now. No, that's not it. Wait, is that it? I think that must be what that is that quantum moon. I'm gonna try and keep watching it because I think that's part of the problem. It deals with that uncertainty principle thing, and if we don't look at it, then we lose it. Built your own AMD PC with your dad? That's cool. What games have you been playing lately? Oh shoot. What? Oh, there it is. What is happening? It's a mystery. Far Cry Primal, interesting. Okay, I don't know what in the world is going on with that. That must be the Quantum Moon, though. Let's try and get back to Giant Steep. Nope. Nope. There we go. Far Cry Primal is the only Far Cry game I've not played. Oh, that's weird, Koala. I didn't even know you could do that. Now firing retro rockets. It looks like something happens to the space station in orbit. Oh, it's like Dark Cal. What in the world is that? This is so crazy. I think these storms are throwing are throwing like pieces of land up into the atmosphere. That's bizarre. Good gracious, we are coming down right in the middle of this storm. Okay, there's where we were. Let's try and look at the poles. That one storm is massive. This is another area that we went. Although I didn't really see this. I'm working on it. I've got some, but they are still being revised. I know it's taken a long time. Oh! My suit! Shoot. It's fine. Man, the gravity is so high here. Okay, so doesn't seem like we can use this warp stone area. I know, but I really want to get them, Koala. I really want to get all of that stuff. Ooh, campfire? That's cool, Marisol. Let's see what's going on here. I would I'd probably advise you to be careful about talking about your stream too much, though, in other channels. Some people don't like that. I don't mind so much, but you just want to be careful with that. Some people can see that as promoting. Oh, this is Gabbro. Yeah. hold on. It's okay. I don't mind so much, but there are a lot of channels that you can get banned for doing that, so just word of advice. It's nice to see you. Good to see you made it here in one piece. The first solo launch is a doozy, isn't it? So hey, don't freak out or anything, but lately I keep, like, dying repeatedly. I don't know, it's pretty weird. What about you? Have you died lately, or is it just me? No, it's me too. We're in a time loop. Time has been behaving unusually. So this is the first mention of anybody else that's been having trouble with this. Yeah, time loop makes sense. Cool. You're taking this pretty well. Right back at you. Personally, I like new experiences. And I've never been in a time loop before. I mean, I don't think I've been in a time loop before this one. I guess you wouldn't really know, would you? Marisol, we also don't use language in chat like that. It's a family-friendly stream. It looks like you and I are the only ones... Looks like you and I are the only ones who can tell that time is gone all weird. I tried radioing Hornfells. Is there a storm that's coming? Oh my goodness. We got thrown out into space again. Look at him. What is happening? I think these are tides, or I guess it's water being pushed from the storms. I'm kind of scared to talk to him. Have you ever watched a cyclone for so long it started to hypnotize you? I'm telling you, they put you in a trance if you stare at them for long enough. Playing the clarinet in a storm is cool, dude. I know. How's space treating you? Okay, let's see. Where's your ship? That's a good question. It's definitely on this planet somewhere. I mean, unless a cyclone came by and tossed it into space, I guess. That would be pretty nuts. I hope it's not lonely. What's up with this planet? Oh, you meant, like, tell you more about it? I gotcha. Well, it's Giant Deep. It's Giant's Deep. Wait, Giant's Deep is massive, and mostly water, no surprise there. There's a strong current a ways beneath the surface that prevents anything from sinking below it. Seriously, I tried everything I could think of to get past the currents, and neither idea worked. As for land masses, I've counted 4 islands, including this one. There's also the one with the Nomai statue I saw on the beach. You seen the cyclones? Yeah, they're hard to miss. They'll toss up everything in their path, islands included. Little tip, if you get picked up, try to land in water, less likely to kill you. Okay. I know, right? Where should I explore on Giant's Deep? Here's something you might like. At the start of every time loop, I keep seeing a bright flash in the sky. at the start of every loop. Something must be happening there in orbit around the planet. So we see that as well every time we wake up. I wonder if it's that that space station that is exploding or something. What else? What else? Have you been to Statue Island? That's what I've been calling it. Seeing as it's the island where I found the glowing Nomai statue. Get it? I was on the beach on Statue Island when the whole glowy business happened. By the way, it's a nice beach for that kind of thing. I give it a solid 7 out of 10 on the Gabbro relaxation scale. If you feel like checking out Statue Island, it's the one with 2 islands connected by a natural rock arch. Well, mostly connected anyway, you'll see. Okay, so we've been to that one. What are you doing out here? You need your glasses, you can't even read the text. It's official, your eyes are bad. Well, what are any of us doing out here, really? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm out here exploring our solar system, same as you. But I tell you what, outer space really gives you the room to think. It's quite peaceful out here. Right. I mean, it's usually quiet and peaceful. Sometimes a cyclone comes by and lifts my little island paradise clean out of the water, then less peaceful. Okay, let's look up here. So he is stuck in the time loop and he knows it. That's interesting. Is that coming towards us? Roast some marshmallows. It's not the time to roast marshmallows. Oh, shoot. Ouch. Very high gravity. Oh no, we got thrown up into space. Whoa. This is bizarre. No, I don't think there's any swearing in this game. I play games that are not necessarily family friendly. I just prefer to keep chat family friendly. Ghost matter detected. Wait, is that his ship? Or is that our ship? Could that be what's causing the loop? What? Also, what is that? Oh, yeah, that is our ship. We just circled back around. Well, that's kind of a weird cave. Ooh, we got some stuff that's linked here. So, Statue Island Village. Okay, Gabbro is lounging in a hammock near the island's shore. Gabbro found a Nomai statue on another island. The statue's eyes started glowing, and Gabbro saw their memories flash before their eyes. Gabbro remembers dying. They saw their memories flash before their eyes, just like the time with the statue. Gabbro and I seem to be the only ones aware that we're in a time loop. Okay, orbital probe cannon. The Nomai finished building the final module for the orbital probe cannon and sent it into orbit around Giant's Deep. Gabbro sees a bright flash in the sky at the start of every loop. Something must be happening in orbit around Giant's Deep. This island is where the Nomai built the orbital probe cannon. Okay, there's more to explore there. Gabbro says there's a strong current beneath the surface of the ocean that prevents anything from sinking below it. Gotta figure out how to get to there. I found a sign for a statue. Oh, right. Okay. So, I want to explore this planet quite a bit more. Let's take off from here. Uh-oh. Are we stuck? Uh-oh. How in the world did we get stuck here? Okay, this is a bit of a problem. We might have to wait till we're launched up into space again. I think we're stuck in a tree or something. The ghost matter? Yeah, so we've detected ghost matter in a few areas. Ouch. Oh, yeah. That would be a problem. I don't know if we can get out of here. Hi, Flutter. We did. We made a treehouse. Definitely not intentionally, though. How are you doing? Flutter? Flutter? How do I say that? Oh, shoot. Well, this may be our chance to get our ship back. We get thrown out into space. Here we go. Oh no, the cycle's about to restart anyway. Oh, we're going back down. I can't get out. I'm doing pretty good. Just exploring this crazy game. Have you played this game? Alright, well, we might as well just get out and enjoy the end of the universe. Oh no! Hey, you know what? Let's explore a little bit down here if we can. See how far down we can get. Unidentified signal nearby. What in the world is that? Oh, we're just right underneath our island, I guess. Well, we're about to die. You just finished it earlier this week. Really enjoyed it. It is just unbelievably good. What other kind of games do you play, Fluter? Fluter Duden? So yeah, there goes the space station being blown up. Wait a second. There's something launching... Is there something launching out of that? It's just mind-boggling that all of this stuff works together the way it does. Put our suit on. Okay, I want to go back to Giant's Deep. Hello, Odd Garrett. How are you? Love seeing blind streams of this game. It's kind of amazing to me that more people are not streaming this game. I mean, I guess it's kind of old for Twitch's regards at this point, since it's been out for almost a year now. But I'm just having a blast with it so far. How long have you been playing on this expedition? I think about 6 hours or so. 6 or 7 hours. Yeah, I'll show you the ship's log here in just a little bit. Okay, I definitely want to go back here. Ooh, I wonder, can I land in here? Maybe that's what this is. A little landing area. Maybe that's what this is, to hold your ship down. Okay, I'll show you guys the log. Here's where we've got. So, we have just briefly explored the Twins. I've explored Timberhearth quite a bit. And then, or sorry, no, that's our home planet. We explored Attlerock a little bit. We went to Attlerock first. And then we went to Brittle Hollow, and we explored Brittle Hollow quite a bit. We found quite a bit of stuff on there. So I haven't been to the moon, and now we're exploring Giant's Deep. Let's actually just kind of recap everything, because I feel like it kind of helps me as well. So we started out... Oops. We started out at the village. Esker's camp. Was this on Adel Rock, I think? Yeah. This is on the moon. Lookout platform, a spectacular view of the solar system. Esker used the signal scope here. Keep tabs on other travelers. Right, we found the Dark Bramble Seed on Timber Hearth, and we sent a probe inside of that. Welcome back, Koala. The eye signal locator we found on the moon, but it wasn't good enough, so they were trying to build another one. We found Rybak's camp. Now wait, we made it in here, but I still didn't really know what I was looking at. Inside the seed. Okay, then we have Gabbro, who is on Giant's Deep. And he's the only other one that is actually experiencing the time loop, knows that he's experiencing the time loop. We have the big question mark, that is the orbital probe cannon. That's the thing that we see explode at the beginning of every loop. I think this is where we are, and we need to explore more here. Ocean depths, we can't get too deep here. Statue Islands. Right, this is where the kids were trying to get in, I think. Yeah. Okay, and then this is all... Trying to remember the names. Brittle Hollow stuff, I think. The Quantum Moon. I'm assuming that's what... That moon that we saw that we just like flew right through. Lots of questions about that. And then I think all of this stuff is with the twins. Yeah, one of the 3 Nomai escape pods crashed in our solar system. All 3 escape pods were launched from something called the Vessel, which was badly damaged. Good old... There's more to explore here. How long ago did you finish this game, Odd? I really, really have been enjoying it. I feel pretty lost, but I mean, at the same time, like I feel like we still have stuff to explore. I just don't know if there's a clear direction on where to go right now. But from what I'm hearing, there's kind of like never really a clear direction on where to go. About a month ago. Okay. Since then, you've been binging Let's Plays. Isn't it so fun to play through a game, especially a really interesting game like this, and then watch someone else play it for the first time? That's one of my favorite things to do. Okay. Oh, nope. This is not where I want to go. I want to... No. Stop it. Oh, I can't go over here, though, because there's that big bridge. Okay, well, let's go over here. What other kind of games do you guys play? Fluten and Odd Garrett? What kind of games do you normally enjoy? Oh, hello. See, I still don't really understand what these things are. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Get in this thing. Okay. The Witness? Oh, man. I could not finish The Witness. I just did not know what to do in that game. I wanted to. I think one day I may go back to it, and I'm gonna just like have to look at a guide or something, because I just got so confused in that game. I have bad news, Evans. Yarrow says there's a problem with the proposed power source, so the orbital probe cannon won't be asked to fire. I hope you're pulling my locomotive limb here, Cassava. I wish I were, my friends, but no, they aren't certain they can fix the problem, so the orbital probe cannon is on indefinite hiatus. Tell Privet and Mallow they should return from the cannon. My spouse and I will remain at the construction yard for now. An update. Mallow and I will join you and Daz. Privet's left to visit her brother. She fears Adaya may feel responsible. Okay, we've got a warp stone here. That's interesting. What am I seeing? Wait, is this the... Is that the station? I'm so confused. Fluter, you play a variety, probably most genres, though fewer racing and fighting games. That's the same for me. You love a good puzzler or something with a good story? Yeah, I play a huge variety of games. I don't really play any fighting games, and I don't play any MMOs. Story is by far the biggest thing that I look for in a video game. It's nice to meet you guys, though. Glad that y'all have joined. And it's cool to have somebody that has played this game. So... 6 minutes, 0 seconds ago, long-range probe successfully launched from orbital probe cannon. Wait, maybe that's a launch that we're seeing? 6 minutes, 3 seconds ago. Yeah, so this is counting in real time. Are those tornadoes, like, coming together to form a gigantic tornado, I wonder? I want to try and look at this again. Me too, absolutely. What are some of your favorite games? What are like your top 3 favorite games? This can be for anybody in chats. This is so disorienting. I thought when I first started this game, I was like, oh, this would be interesting to play in VR. No. I no longer think that. Oh. Oh, shoot, we need to take this back over there. I know it's a really hard question. You don't have to pick one. You can just, like, tell me some of your favorite. Some of my favorite are The Last of Us, The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3. No. I usually pick The Witcher 1 out of all three of them, actually. Bloodborne. I'm a big FromSoft fan. Let's see what this does. So these are showing us different locations. Oh, this is interesting. Where in the world is this? Let's see if we can read this. God of War, the newest God of War, is definitely becoming one of my favorites. I usually don't like to put a game into what I consider like greatest games of all time for at least like 3 to 4 years. I like to give me time to replay it and to think about it and just see how it ages and everything like that. You enjoyed The Last of Us as well. Bloodborne is good as well. Yeah. Connie, Daz, and I were lifting orbital probe cannon components into orbit for assembly, and one somehow sank down beneath the current. Oh, maybe we'll get some current information here. Cassava convinced me not to try to recreate the phenomenon myself using other cannon parts, but we're very curious to know what happens. How could something pass through the currents? My gratitude for the interesting question. This is exciting. Spire constructed a model of Giant Steep here at the Brittle Hollows Southern Observatory. We still haven't really found the Southern Observatory, I don't think. And it reveals how an object might sink below the current. We've got to find the Southern Observatory, I think. Connie, I'm unable to grasp the answer by looking through the projection pool. If I visit the observatory, would you kindly explain? If you don't mind the trek beneath the surface to the South Pole, it can be delighted to see you. I'd be delighted to see you. The trailhead starts at Brittle Hollow's equator. Okay. Connie, you should have seen it. We thought it was impossible for any cannon components to sink even partially below the current, but ours sank straight to the core. Okay. I think we've got to go to Brittle Hollow's Southern Observatory. That's like main objective, I think. Let's see what this does. Oh, this doesn't work, does it? In some ways, this type of puzzle-driven gameplay reminds you of Portal 2. And Portal 1 and 2 are such good games. I think I'm going to replay those. I haven't played those in a really, really long time. Is that coming back? It is coming back! Shoot. Oh my goodness, those things are terrifying. Yeah, I think I'm going to replay Portal 1 and 2. Portal 1's really short. But I think I've only played Portal 2 one time. I played Portal 1 quite a few times. But I don't really remember Portal 2 very well. Okay, let's... Oh boy. Careful. Oh shoot. Wait. Didn't realize we were so close to being out of oxygen. Oh, Koala. Horizon Zero Dawn? You were not the only one. I have been dying to replay that game. There's a big rumor about it coming to PC. So I'm trying to kind of hold off and wait to replay it until it comes to PC, but I don't know if I can wait because I am absolutely blown away by the story in Horizon Zero Dawn. You love the gravity physics in this game? Hey, welcome back, Minish. Horizon Zero Dawn is fantastic. It needs to be on PC. You need it in your life again. The story in Horizon Zero Dawn, it drives me crazy that a lot of people just like blew over that game and didn't really follow the story, I guess. But the story in that game and like figuring out what Horizon Zero Dawn actually was and who Aloy actually is just mind-blowing. I think it's one of the best original sci-fi stories ever. I mean, I think it's fantastic. No, I think you're right, Koala. I think it is underappreciated in the regards of the story. It just fell so close to Breath of the Wild's release. Yeah, that's really a shame. Although, I don't know. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, but it makes me mad when people just say, like, oh, the story was okay. Like, no, the story was fascinating and just, like, so interestingly thought out. I'm getting worked up because I love Horizon Zero Dawn so much. Yeah, but no, see, Koala, that's another game that, like I say, I don't really like to say a game is greatest game of all time until it's been out for like at least I think 5 years is a good point, because at that point, which I mean, that game came out in 2017, I think. So we're going on 3 years. But after it's been out for 5 years, I think I can then like really appreciate the game even more and just see how it aged, which I think Horizon Zero Dawn is going to age fantastic. And again, that's the same with God of War. But for me especially, like I'll play a game and I'll finish and I'll be like, oh, that was the greatest game of all time. And I do that a lot with movies too. I feel like a lot of people do this. Like you finish watching a movie and you're like, oh, greatest movie of all time. And then like, a couple of years later, you're like, oh, it was okay. But no, I don't think that's going to happen to Horizon. I think people either rush through it, you platinumed the game. You got sucked into it and loved every second. Yeah. I think a lot of people skipped over, because there's a really big like information dump in a few areas in Horizon, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people just kind of like skipped over a lot of the story parts, which is such a shame. But not just the story, but the gameplay is fantastic too in Horizon. So I think that's what just makes it such a good all-around video game. It was so good to see Guerrilla Games to do something like Horizon Zero Dawn after making Killzone. Fluter and anybody else, if you guys have not watched it, go watch the no-clip documentary on Horizon Zero Dawn. It's really, really interesting because they had been basically working on Horizon Zero Dawn while they were making Killzone and they actually like put a bunch of stuff in Killzone that nobody knew about, or nobody like even would have known, but it was just them trying things and like testing new technologies to build Horizon Zero Dawn. It's really interesting to hear about. It's kind of funny too that like they obviously did not really want to make Killzone, the last Killzone. I mean, it's kind of sad because like you don't ever want somebody to make a game that they're not passionate about. But it's just interesting to hear how they made that game, and it's kind of like they made it because they had to, but they really wanted to make Horizon Zero Dawn. I know, Odd Garrett. I am 1000% going to watch it like right. I think I'm going to watch it on stream, actually. I'm going to watch it right when I'm finished with the game. I'm super excited to watch that. You're always amazed watching people who stream, who blow through lore conversations just to rush through the game. Yeah, it blows my mind too. NoClip is a great channel, yeah. And it really kind of breaks my heart because like that's 100% the reason why I play video games is because of the story. Like, yeah, I like good gameplay. And there are a few games like I really enjoy the FromSoft games like Dark Souls, and I don't really play those for the story. I'll absolutely admit that. I have no idea what's going on in Dark Souls. I am learning a little bit more about it. Bloodborne I understand quite a bit more, and Sekiro I understand quite a bit more. But for the most part, like I just love stories in video games. I know, I agree, Minish. Basically, Dad. Horizon Zero Dawn is the easiest game to soak in. It's 100% voice acted, yeah. Literally zero reading. Yeah, I don't... Is there any reading in that game? I think you're right. I think it's like 100% voice acted. Even like all of the audio logs you get are all voice acted. There's no text logs. You guys are just making me really, really want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay. Oh goodness, we're coming in really hot. Okay, that's gotta be what these things are for. These things are... it's like little landing pads, and they'll hold our ship down, which is really cool. So we searched a little bit over here. This was Statue Island, I think, right? There are text files, but those are extra? Okay. You really have to dig into the item description to appreciate some of FromSoft's stories. Yeah. Since I'm messing up actual gaming... Another game I really loved was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and that too seems to fall by the side a lot. I think people appreciate that game quite a bit. I just don't think it got quite as much coverage because it was such a smaller game from a smaller studio, you know, relatively smaller studio. Okay, I don't really think there's any reason to go back here, because we've already been here. We know that we can't get into that door. But, I mean, I would definitely agree. I think that game deserves more credits. I'm trying to reserve my judgment until I see what Microsoft does with Ninja Theory, but it does definitely worry me, Fluter, that they bought out Ninja Theory. I mean, they're coming out with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2, but I don't know if the game really needs a sequel. I didn't really feel like it needed a sequel. Yeah, exclusivity just sucks for anything. Like, I don't want anything to be exclusive. Okay, it's been a long time since I've been to Brittle Hollow, so I've got to remember. Although, hold on. I don't think I've ever been to this area. Seem to have landed in a tree again. Thatch, is everyone unarmed? What? Oh, Fluter. Fluter, you and I are very similar. Soma was so good. Unbelievably good. I was surprised by there being a sequel for Senua, though I love how they gave life to such a touring character. Yeah, me too. You're a bit scared to look into what they did with it after seeing the trailer. What, Senua's Sacrifice 2? Dang, I just lost my train of thought. There was another game. Hold on just a second, I'll be right back. There was another game I was going to mention, but I can't remember it now. Really, really good story game. It was a really short one. What Remains of Edith Finch? Did you guys play What Remains of Edith Finch? That game was so good too. Okay, this planet is terrifying. I don't think I've actually been to this area. Oh, I didn't realize... No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. I didn't realize this had 13 pages. Okay, wait, is everyone unharmed? No one was badly injured from the escape pod's impact. We're incredibly fortunate. Wait, is this another escape pod? This is good news. At least we... have we heard from escape pod 2 or 3? No, I'm unable to make contact. My equipment can hear the other 2 escape pods' distress signals. However, if it's any comfort, both pods must be structurally intact. I'll continue calling for them. My gratitude if we can. Thatch, the moon is approaching again. Everyone brace yourselves swiftly. Volcanic moon has returned. Be cautious of falling ash and debris. I believe the moon has passed. The planet doesn't appear eager to have guests. We are certainly unwelcome on its surface. We need to find shelter, and quickly. The volcanic moon won't be gone for long. I observed several promising sites below the surface, but we'll need to construct a way for everyone to climb safely down this cliff. Perhaps we could build platforms. Edith Finch was amazing, yeah. The cannery part, yeah, that was really cool. Okay, hold on. I want to check out our log really quick. Annapurna has quickly become one of your favorite publishers for games like this. Did they publish this game as well? The Ashwin project was planned at the High Energy Lab, a building with large solar panels on Ember Twin's equator. They did both this and Edith Finch. Okay. One of the Nomai escape pods has crashed in our solar system. There's more to explore here. The Nomai survivors who crashed on Brittle Hollow climbed down the cliff to a shelter site below the surface. I used Nomai projection pool and saw the interior of a space station in orbit around Giant's Deep. So, okay, we need to check that out too. There's so much stuff to check out. The Nomai on the construction yard saw something sink beneath the underwater current, which they previously thought was impossible. For some reason, the Nomai put orbital probe cannon on indefinite hiatus. The cannon was not asked to fire. According to a Nomai computer, a long-range probe was recently launched from the orbital probe cannon. The Nomai at the Southern Observatory constructed a model of Giant's Deep that revealed how an object might sink below the strong ocean currents. There is a path beneath the surface that leads to the observatory. The trailhead starts at Brittle Hollow's equator. Okay, we kind of knew that because we kind of found that accidentally. Okay. No, Fluter, I haven't played Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've never really been like a big rhythm game kind of person, but I haven't heard much about it, but just the way that you're saying that, like, is there more to it than just a rhythm game? Like, should I play this game? Ooh, hello. Emergency escape hatch. Ooh. Okay, let's read this. Super short playthrough, but unlike anything else out there, it's super simple in terms of rhythm part. Okay. Scanning external environment. Scan complete. Minor structural instability detected. Pockets of breathable air detected. Adequate solar energy detected. Verdict hospitable. Collision imminent. Preparing for impact. I think I'm doing this backwards. Begin flight log. Escape pod 1. Vessel has been mortally injured. Emergency sequence activated. Awaiting departure from vessel. Escape pod 3. Launching escape pod 2. Now launching escape pod 1. Collision imminent. Prepare for impact. Okay. So we found 2 of the escape pods now. Have you guys played Subnautica? It's another really good one. Gracious, that scared me half to death. And in some ways, this game kind of reminds me of Subnautica. The storytelling does a little bit. Oh no. That's not good. Use caution. A black hole sleeps below. You must not slip. Uh-huh. Can you imagine how terrifying this would actually be? Oh, Minish. I'm so excited for you to play Subnautica. That's definitely one of those games that I will pretty much watch anybody play through their first playthrough. Of note, be sure not to wander far from here. Though this area is somewhat unstable, it's safer than any we found so far. The temporary settlement is finished, but remember to be cautious of falling rocks and dust created by meteor impacts. Okay, Fluter. I totally get what you're saying, and that's another genre that I've never been able to get into, is like survival crafting games. But all I can say is, if you like this game, the story in Subnautica is super, super interesting. And it starts out just pretty basic, but you start uncovering stuff that is like mind-boggling in that game. I don't want to say anything other than just play it. Like, I mean, if you really, really hate survival games, then you may not like it. But I've never liked a survival game. My biggest problem with survival games is they always put you in a world, and they don't really give you like any kind of story or objective. They're just like, survive in this world. And there's no real incentive to me. Isn't there an expansion to it? There is an expansion. It's in early access though, so it's not out yet. But the base game is like just 10 out of 10, fantastic. But yeah, the thing that makes this game so good is the story. Like, it is a survival game, but you have constant progression that doesn't just lead you to just like live in this world and just see how long you can live or exist. Like, there is a very, very much progression in this game, and such an interesting story. Given concerns about our settlement stability, where should we construct a new, less temporary shelter? We need to stay close to the escape pod so Felix can monitor incoming messages. We can't be rescued if we aren't present to respond. I don't believe anyone is coming to save us, Thatch. We must save ourselves. I agree. We're here because the eye's signal called to us and we followed. If we're to find it, we need to not merely survive, but thrive. How long would a typical playthrough take? It's actually pretty long. I think my first playthrough was probably 30-ish hours. It's pretty long. And again, nothing is really like boring or like just, you don't, at least I didn't ever feel like I was just playing a survival game where I was just like trying to survive. Like, I was always trying to figure out more about the story and everything like that. This is a wise point, Plume. And wait, this is a wise point. Plume and eloquently made. If moving the northern glacier will keep us safer, then that is what we should do. And the more I play this game, the more like Subnautica vibes I get. Just more so the storytelling. I believe we should migrate to the northern glacier. What if we use gravity crystals to craft a stable path? Building beneath the crust again would shelter us from the volcanic moon's eruptions. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wait, is that what we're doing here? I think it is. Alright. Oh, this is kind of trippy. Yeah. Astroneer, I don't know if I would be into that, because to me, I could be wrong, but that's a game that is kind of the opposite of what I was talking about with Subnautica. It looks like it's just much more of a pure survival game, and there's no, like, real story to it or anything, and that just didn't seem interesting to me. Oh, shoot. Have we missed our opportunity here? Oh, no. No. Okay, we must have to get here really early. This area takes a lot of getting used to. Siri, I'm not talking to you. Good gracious. You're also downloading Subnautica. You're going to download too many games, Minish. And you're going to be overwhelmed. Yeah, Astroneer, the gameplay looked interesting, but it just didn't look like it had any kind of a story, really. So I don't think that would really be for me. Gonna need an external hard drive. Let's fall into the black hole and watch the world explode from right here. This area, the little box, the Siri, yeah, what? There it goes. That's so cool. Ah, man. Okay. I think I've got time to do one more run. I want to go straight for Brittle Hollow. And I want to see if we can get to the Southern Observatory. I don't know if we're supposed to access it from that escape pod, but it seemed like maybe. Yeah, that's definitely launching something, isn't it? This game is so good. Ooh, is that it right there? I don't suppose we could just chase it, could we? Go. Go. Hi, Troparium? Troparium? How are you? It's so easy to get distracted in this. Oh, no. Maybe they're launching themselves, like, into another... I don't know, towards another solar system or something. Okay, Brittle Hollow. No, I do not, Troparium. Please don't tell me anything. The time, like, doing all of this is part of the experience to me. I know this game could probably be finished, like, within, I don't know, an hour or something like that if you probably knew what to do. That's kind of the same way with Subnautica. I take it you have played this game, Troparium? Am I saying that right? What other kind of games do you play? We've been talking about all kinds of games today. Oops. What's up, Nero? You can beat it in 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. That is just crazy. That's really, really interesting, though. Alright, we're going to go back here. What have I figured out so far? So I'll show you guys the ship log. We have been to all of the planets except for Dark Bramble. Currently, I don't feel like I'm piecing together a whole lot right now. But I know that the Nomai were trying to build this cannon, and it's being destroyed at the beginning of the loop, but it also looks like it's launching something. We met Gabbro here. We met Ryback. Was it Ryback here? And then we met, I can't remember who we met on Attlerock. We've explored just a little tiny bit of, like, I feel like we just have so much more to explore, and I honestly love that. Okay, what else do we know? We know about the orbital probe cannon. The quantum moon, we're still trying to figure out that. Oh right, the vessel, they were trying to find a warp core, but it was broken, so they were trying to figure out how to fix it. What I'm trying to do right now is get to the Southern Observatory. Don't even know if I'm going the right direction or the right way. That's basically what I'm trying to do right now. Dark Bramble is scary. It looks scary. Nero, you've watched 9 Let's Plays of this game, and you've beaten the game yourself. You love it? That's awesome. Grinding Warframe right now? How did you guys discover this game? Because it seems like a lot of people just kind of, like, randomly discovered this game. Oh, shit. That's kind of terrifying. Just found it, you don't know how. Of note, be sure not to wander from here. Okay, yeah, we've seen this. Now I have not seen that. Whoa, there's all kinds of stuff that we haven't seen here. Thatch, this knowledge is too dear to lose. Here is everything we can recall about the vessel we encountered while aboard the vessel. Wait. Here is everything we can recall about the signal we encountered while aboard the vessel. The signal was older than the universe itself. That is the most significant detail. No Nomai has ever encountered anything like it. How can anything in the universe be older than the universe itself? Well, so we also know that those warp stones or whatever, when we go through it, we exit it slightly before we actually enter it. Looter, you normally keep tabs on various outlets' best of lists? Gotcha. Odd. I heard about it because Mario Maker YouTube mentioned it on one of his YouTube videos. He saw another streamer play it. Popped up on a good number of them, so I grabbed it during a sale. Awesome. That's really cool. The signal looked like an eye, round with a circle at the center, much like a pupil. Suppose the signal was looking for something. Okay. Wait. Why is this pulling out the scouts? Interesting. I don't know if it really robbed that much of it. I think this is a pretty niche game anyway. And I think even if it... Honestly, you guys may feel differently. I think it being an Epic exclusive may have helped it. Because if this game had just come out on Steam, I feel like a lot of people might not have known about it, because I mean there's so many games that come out every day on Steam, and it may have just been buried in the other games. My brother wasn't in Escape Pod 1 with us. Was he in Pod 2 or Pod 3? Was he able to board an Escape Pod at all? We sacrificed too much arriving here. I will not allow our clan's greatest loss to be in vain. I have been to Giant's Deep, yep. I feel like there's still a good amount of stuff to do there, though. What is that down there? Wait, where did I come from? Oh! Ship log updated. Ship log updated. What have we found? Thatch, I cannot understand. Why did the vessel crash in that place? We warped to follow that curious signal from the eye of the universe. Where we arrived was wrong. It wasn't where we tried to go. Wait. Suppose it was a problem with the vessel, but with our... Suppose it wasn't a problem with the vessel, but with our destination. I'm afraid for our friends in Escape Pod 3. No, Anona and I have checked before the warp, and the warp core and navigation systems were both well. I don't know what we're seeing here. The pain of your absence is sharp and haunting, and I would give anything not to know it. Anything but never knowing you at all, which would be worse. I can only hope that you are safe. Keek? Wherever you are? Who is Keek? Yeah, it's super scary, isn't it? It's just insane that it's like at the center of this Oh, can I get across here now? At the center of this planet. And it's so cool how it's just sucking the planet. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! No! Wait, what is this? Oh man. I don't know what happened. I guess we got too far away from one of the crystals. Whatever it is, it's not soft. Oh man, I think that's gonna have to do it for me today, guys. I'll have to pick this up next time I stream. Which is probably not gonna be able to be until Tuesday, unfortunately. But thank you guys for coming out. It was nice to meet all of you. And I typically stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And sometimes I stream on Sundays. We do kind of a community type stream. Yeah, thank you guys again. Koala, thank you so much for everything. Nero and Odd and Fluter and Troparium. It was really nice to meet you guys. And it was really nice chatting about some video games with you guys. So yeah, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone.